Alright, so I sent out the first extremely rough draft. It's probably about 2 to 3 novels worth of typing, but there is so much information, and the names and times and dates need to be put in. As I set up the packets for each section, I'll be going through and finding all the stuff from that time from different people, that time frame, and then as I find that stuff to put in the packets, all the stuff in those packets will tell me the times and the dates and the names. So basically, as I set up the packets, everything will fill itself out. So he's gonna forward anything I send him to his detectives, or to a detective, and he doesn't have access to it right now because he's at home. But he's going to get to it hopefully in the morning, although he's got a bunch of meetings in the morning. I got some other things to say, but I'm going to pause it for a minute because I'm going to try to collect my thoughts. Basically, we've come full circle. Started off with the Adams County detectives. I've spoken to so many therapists and so many doctors and so many officers and so many people who just couldn't do anything. It's not their job. It's not their job. The FBI, the Secret Service, multiple jurisdictions, multiple counties. And I'm right back where I started, where some officers in Adams County should have taken a report from me. Should have, but didn't. And Miss Peaches, I'm going to be sending her stuff first, or her videos and conversations first. Because really, she was there for so much, and she understands so much, and she has learned quite a bit about not just autism, but also she's able to see with a lot of this stuff that I've shown her. She sees where, yes, I am reacting to these people. Reacting. It's different than going out of my way to be an asshole. I'm reacting to the way that they're treating me. I'm reacting to the stimuli. I'm really hoping that he's going to be able to look at some of the stuff with Natalie's case and pull out a lot of the stuff from there and realize really what a fucking shit show it ended up being. There were a lot of different officers and a lot of different agencies present, but there's two parts that I think are really gonna kind of fuck with it a little bit. One of them is Andre Gugasian. This guy, when he gets to that part of the story, he's gonna go, oh man, this guy's fucking crazy. Because, who is it that, while going through all of this, has a foreign arms dealer from the United States get a hold of them? This is something that probably should be national security stuff. So that might put them off. But then when they get to the... I'm not going to just talk about it. I'm going to send them all of the emails between myself and Mr. Gugasian. I'm also going to send them the videos of the conversations between myself and Mr. Gugasian so that they know I'm... that part fucking... If I hadn't saved the information that I did, I might believe that that's some sort of crazy fiction made up by a lunatic as well. And there's one other part that's gonna throw them for a loop similar. But, again, I have the evidence and the screenshots and the email stuff and everything to back it up. So that's where it becomes difficult. See, it's not that I didn't have this information already. When they say, when you go into a courtroom and they tell a lawyer, you're in law school, they tell you not to ask any questions that you don't already know the answer to. The things that I asked these people to come forward about, I already have the evidence. The problem is that because of the mentally ill tag, people wouldn't look at that evidence. Well, now that I have somebody to look at that evidence, your time limit for coming forward is up. It's over. The things that you should have come forward about in the last 2.5 years or last year and a half, I saved those screenshots. I saved those conversations. I saved that information. I've been telling you I saved it. You didn't get that. So, because of the 2 parts that they're going to be taking a look at and going, holy fuck, you wasn't kidding, that stuff will really bring a lot of things out to light, and it'll get it to where it's not just one jurisdiction and not just one county. I'm hoping by the end of this we'll have some laws set into place that allow victims to actually have their predators pursued and brought to justice, no matter what jurisdiction, no matter what county. I'm also hoping by the end of this to make sure that the jails, those hospitals, and the officers are required to have body cams at all times with the sound on to record stuff. I mean, we have a modern age where we have electronics and technology that have 100% perfect memory. So there is no reason that we should be paying out hundreds of millions of dollars per year as taxpayers to settlements that go to people who, well, wouldn't have had to go through the trauma and turmoil of that to begin with if body cameras were required to be present and on at all times, and if it wasn't such a pain in the ass to try to requisition them. I mean, that body camera shows the truth. When it's subject to interpretation, that's when you're compartmentalizing and finding little bits and pieces. Like Boulder County, what they did is they tried to condense everything that happened in their county down to just one day and a 5-minute period and claimed that that was an investigation. Well, no. There were officers from Broomfield involved that night, and that's in Adams County as well. So Adams County, I'm going to be reporting on all of this, and I've written my story. It's probably about 1/10 of all the information that needs to be written. But I've gotten to the point where I've collected so much evidence, and I've started to get it organized, and I've started to go through it and put it into different packets according to who it came from. So all the stuff from Natalie is in one area, and all the stuff from Kara Johnson Miles is in one area. All the stuff from Tim Beeson is in one area. All the stuff from all these people. I mean, not all of it is in one area yet, but it's getting there. It's a lot of stuff to go through. And a lot of my videos, they weren't titled when my computer saved them. So a lot of the stuff that I lost in my first YouTube, it's still there. It's just not labeled. So I have to go through the videos one by one and find the important ones that show that I was telling the truth. The Bollingers basically went through and picked all the stuff where I was freaking out after being threatened, assaulted, intimidated, having people die, things of that nature. What the Bollingers did at my grandmother's funeral was so fucking off the wall. I mean, that is just sick in the most twisted way. And the thought that Alicia could even think to be involved in such a thing is just such a far cry from the person that I the person that I thought she was. Now, there's something to be said about looks, because here's the thing about Jamie Curtis. She doesn't look sweet and innocent, but she's a very attractive woman, and she knows it. With Natalie and Alicia, they look sweet and innocent, and they play the hell out of it. They know they look sweet and innocent. We even had conversations about it. But Pierre himself called Natalie evil. He called her evil after she was dead. Now that right there leaves something to be said, now doesn't it? He should have come forward about that to an officer, and I'm sorry that I didn't have an officer for him to speak to at the time. I'm hoping that he'll speak to this new sheriff, but I also got to consider that after everything that's happened, he probably won't. Or there's a possibility that he won't. You never know. But with Matty Boa, I said, Matty Boa, you need to come forward. You need to come forward. You need to come forward. Y'all are committing crimes. You need to come forward. If there's a reason that you committed those crimes and it was something innocent, you should come forward about it. Because if you don't come forward about it, it makes you look like you're guilty. Like you did it on purpose. Like you had ulterior motives. Like it wasn't an accident. And it wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a decision that you made to destroy somebody else's life. So, in short, yeah, full circle. You had your opportunity to come forward. And I told you, I'm not afraid to show them what a mean, evil, sorry-ass son of a bitch that I've been. So, those of you who think that you're going to be able to get out of this by trying to show them just the parts where I was an asshole, keep in mind that I have all of the parts where I wasn't an asshole for forever and a day, back to the beginning of when we first started speaking. So if you try to frame me like that, by just picking out little parts and pieces that you want to use to twist and contort me in that fashion, keep in mind that there are a special set of charges for doing that as well. Now, we're not going to get into that right now, but it will be in a later video, and there didn't need to be thousands of people involved in this. There needed to be me, Natalie, and an arbitrator in between. Some sort of mediator. I mean, all of this shit got completely out of hand over rumors. Rumors. And opinions. From people who didn't want to find out the facts. They wanted to run with opinions. They wanted to run with assumptions. They wanted to run with their own bias. Rose Kelly is one of these people. Natalie warned me about her, and those of you who read all the stuff between me and Natalie, you know that. Those of you who were just in those Natalie Bollinger groups that were run by Sean haters, yeah, I understand why you guys hate me. I know what you guys have seen, what they've allowed you access to, and how you have treated people who have been intelligent and shown you what's going on. You act like children. You do the shaming. You do the name calling. You do all of that stuff. And then you complain when I do it back. However, I can prove in all of these cases that you started it. Does that make it okay for me? No. But I'm willing to serve my time. And the other thing is, those of you who think that you can hold my past over my head to try to get yourself leverage or to try to keep me quiet, well, I've made a lot of videos, and you go back through all my videos, you're going to realize that there's nothing that you can hold over my head. I admitted to it all.